Hello, small business community. This is Leland McFarland with Small Business Trends, and you have arrived at the Small Biz Spotlight, a place where we like to shine a light on all of the information, deals that really concern a small business owner. So I'm going to share my screen, possibly. All right, let's get into it with the news. First off, we have Facebook Marketplace's new Meta AI tools make selling faster and easier. In a push to enhance online selling, Facebook Marketplace has introduced new features powered by Meta AI, making it easier for both buyers and sellers. The new AI tools help sellers create listings more quickly by automatically generating drafts with key details and pricing suggestions when they upload the image of their products. This means that sellers can spend more time focusing on their business instead of getting bogged down in listing items. Shipping has also been made simpler with new tools that let sellers offer shipping options and generate prepaid labels with just a few clicks. Plus, sellers can streamline communication with potential buyers by using AI auto replies, providing quick feedback about an item availability directly from their listing. Additionally, the platform now features AI-generated profile summaries that gives potential buyers insights into a seller's histories and activities, which could help build trust. This is going to be great for the small business that kind of operates in the local community. People who maybe buy and resell furniture, flippers, people who are like, oh yeah, I want to sell like a video game or something vintage, or even just the person who's like, I need to clean out my garage and I don't want to list all 50 items that I have that I want to sell. Be a good option. I'm a little saddened, I guess, because when these kind of tools come out, usually it's kind of hard to find a good deal. It's going to be great for the people that are selling it. Make no qualms about that. But I like a good deal, and it's kind of fun to find, oh, you could get this item for this amount of money, and you feel good about it. And it's going to be harder with AI saying, oh, that thing, it's actually worth this, not, the smaller amount. But I digress. It's going to be great for businesses. Gen Z is wanting to go to in-person events more. So in a recent study by Lenovo, it highlighted a trend where the younger generation is using social media to organize real-world events, seeking community rather than just online interaction. An example of this is Jessie Perlmutter that was referenced in this study. She's a 23-year-old New Yorker, and she joined a running club through Instagram and quickly made some friends. So the studies indicated that the pandemic has intensified the desire for personal interaction as many people have shifted to remote work. Basically, out of this, it's saying that there's this real desire, especially within Gen Z, to be able to meet face to face. And I get it. There was a long period in which there wasn't a lot of interaction, and the pandemic has actually influenced the work culture to make it to where remote work is a lot more accepted. One of those companies, Oracle, is not 100% remote, but a lot of the workers that work for Oracle are actually remote, and it cuts down a lot of expense, but it also makes it a little harder to interact with your coworkers when it's on a Zoom screen all the time. Research indicated that younger audiences, particularly ages 18 to 35, are more inclined to attend live events. 73% of them plan to do so this coming month, a significant increase from previous years. These gatherings provide immediate benefits, such as forming close friendships. 84% of the attendees report this as the outcome. So this is actually a kind of a nice little side effect for small businesses. This gives the opportunity for businesses to be able to create events within their business that kind of cater to this need to be able to bring people together. I I know in my little personal community, there's a lot of need for book clubs, meeting at libraries, a lot of library events. I take my kid to chess, every other week. It's a fun time to be able to engage with other people with similar interests. I know that board games are becoming a very popular thing, and so you're going to see, that this is a good opportunity for people in certain industries to be able to maybe get a little extra income and be able to gain more customers. All right, national gas price. Look at that red line. It's getting up there. It's getting pretty high. So the national average for gas has jumped 28 cents in just 1 week, now standing at about $3.88 a gallon. This is a significant rise compared to last month when prices were around $2.98. So over a month, it's gone up $1. The increase in gas price comes as we enter a season known for more travel. That's typically true when you get to spring, summer seasons. Gas prices go up because there's higher demand for the gas. The surge is linked to seasonal demand as warmer weather prompts more road use. The White House recent decision to release 172 million barrels from strategic reserve hasn't stabilized the price, with crude oil now costing around $96.32 per barrel. For small businesses reliant on vehicles, these increased fuel costs impact their budgets severely. In response, many small businesses might have to rethink their pricing strategies. Some may raise their prices to offset the rising fuel expenses, but this can pose challenges for businesses that to maintain customer loyalty among these changes. Increasingly, gasoline demand has actually fallen recently, suggesting that consumers and businesses alike are rethinking how much they drive. With gas production also dropping, the market is tightening. In high-cost areas like California, where gas prices have reached over $5.61, businesses face tougher operational challenges. Conversely, prices in states like Oklahoma are much lower, easing the strain. Now, that is something to keep into consideration. California it's a different beast when it comes to gas. The gas prices over there also come from a lot of the regulations that are on top of the gas industry as a whole over there. And you have to have a special type of gas in California, and it's only made in, I think, 3 refineries in California, and it is possible that one of those refineries is going out of business and may not be able to actually produce gas, which would also increase the price of gas in that state as well. So don't just look at California and think, my gosh, it's nuts over there. It's kind of just them, a little bit with Oregon and Washington. But yeah, it's definitely take into consideration if prices are raising because you're having to put in a little bit more fuel. Think about, do I need to raise my prices a little bit, or do I want to stay competitive and be able to stay in this area to be able to better keep my customers? That's ultimately your decision, but it is a little bit scary when you see that red line go up that quickly. So from gas prices to small business optimism. Small business optimism dips slightly, but confidence remains steady. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index dropped slightly by 0.5 points in February, landing at 98.8, which is still above the 52-year average. They had to go back 52 years to make a good average. While it's a small dip in optimism, business confidence is actually rising, indicating that owners remain cautiously hopeful about the future. According to NFIB Chief Economist Bill Dunklenberg, many small businesses report increased certainty For upcoming months, the employment situation is improving, with the employment index climbing to 103.5, showing a strong job market. Notably, only 15% of owners cite labor quality as top concerns, down from previous months. Sales are on the rise, with a net 1% of owners reporting higher sales recently, although expectations for future sales have slightly decreased. Competing against larger companies remains a challenge for many small business owners, with 8% expressing this as their major issue. Supply chain disruptions are impacting operations for 59% of businesses, though that's a slight decrease from January. Inflation is still significant worry for 12% of owners, while 54% have made capital expenditures, primarily in new equipment or facility improvements. They are also showing caution with pricing, as 24% raised selling prices recently. Despite ongoing challenges, 55% of small business owners still feel good about their business health. The economy is what it is, and there are fluctuations, but I'm always of the opinion we're not at a point where we gotta panic. And if you panic too early, then you get the toilet paper situation of 2020. You don't want that. We want to make sure that our businesses are happy and healthy. And at this point, maybe save a little bit, be a little bit cautious, but don't hunker down. That could potentially hurt yourself and your business in the long. All right. Next up, small business deals. First up, Google has a little bit of a deal when it comes to their AI membership. For their bottom tier, you can get 2 months at 50% off, $3.99 per month instead of $7.99. But if you go for their ultra expensive Google AI Ultra, you can get that at 50% off for 3 months, which is, when you're paying $250, 50% off is a lot more significant than when it's $8 a month. If you have a high need for AI generated images, videos, this would be a good opportunity to be able to try out Google AI's services. Maybe, if you need that big one, I don't need that big one, but if you need that big ultra plan, this is a good opportunity to be able to get in for 3 months, 50% off. Next up, website that I like, it's called Woot.com, WOOT.com. It is an Amazon store, and they have a nice deal on vacuum cleaners, both refurbished and brand new, and you can get them at a pretty good deal. Check them out. Check out Woot just in general. They usually have some pretty good deals, just like this next one, on lawn and garden equipment. They have some pretty good deals on new and used, not just like off brands. They got some name brands in there too. In general, if you want some good technology deals, really anything. I mean, they Woot almost sells anything these days, but check it out, Woot.com. And these deals, I'll have them in the description. Anyways, on to the next part. Stories from Reddit. Anyone else deliberately staying small and not chasing scale? Met up with a mate last week. He raised funding, hired 30 people, got the office, the whole thing, which is really good for him, and I'm glad for him. But he works 70 hours a week. Answers to investors, hasn't taken a proper holiday in 2 years, told me he's exhausted, and I can see that on him. I've got a team of 6, no investors, fully remote, decent profile. I can even take a break, going travel, and nothing breaks. The thing is that I just didn't scale. Like, not every business needs to be huge, right? I'm not failing, even though I'm not growing 10 times. My small business and my small system lets me live in another country, work reasonable hours, and actually enjoy what I earned. What do you think about that? Someone doing the same thing here? I like this. Not every business has to turn into a multi-million-dollar business, have 50 employees, become a public company where all of a sudden you have investors and you climb that investment. I mean, if you do that, great. I guess it comes down to, what is your goal? Do you want to climb the ladder? Do you want to build an empire? Do you want to build something really big? Go for it. Do you want to just live a simple life, make the money that you need, put the food on the table, have a nice life where it's nice and relaxing? Personally, that's my goal. I want that ultimately down the road. But yeah, it just depends on what you want. So don't go chasing the big grand thing, the big grand business, if that's not what you're wanting. If you're wanting just something that puts on the food on the table, go for it. How to lose $50,000 opening a bubble tea shop. Lessons from recent lawsuits. So all this allegedly, gonna start putting that out because it's mentioning an actual franchise. Thinking about a bubble tea shop or buying into a franchise before putting serious money into it might be worth looking at recent lawsuits involving Hey Tea franchise in the US. According to publicly available federal court records, franchisees in multiple states have filed lawsuits against HK Hey Chai Limited, Hey Tea. Examples include one in New York, California, and Washington. Across these cases, franchises allege the following: allegedly misleading franchise sales practices, alleged violations of U.S. franchise law, alleged disputes resulting in franchise agreements, alleged clauses requiring disputes to be handled through China arbitration. Some filings claim franchisees invest hundreds or even hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to open stores. Of course, these are allegations and the cases are still ongoing, but seeing similar disputes across multiple states raise interesting questions about the risks involved in franchisee investments. For anyone thinking about opening a bubble tea shop through a franchise, it might be worth reading some of these cases first. When it comes to a franchise, yes, you've got to be able to put it in. And when I look at a franchise, I go, is it worth investing into? Is the name going to help me? That's what I look at when I look at franchise. Is that name going to be so important that when I use it, it's going to see a noticeable increase in sales? I can open up a burger shop and I can make it Leland's Burgers, and that's no name, but I might be able to be successful, just as successful as if I were to open up a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Dairy Queen and utilize their franchise. I might not be able to. It just depends on how well that name is going to ring out. And I'm not the biggest bubble tea drinker, but I wouldn't necessarily put a lot of stock in a bubble tea franchise being that catalyst to kind of launch you into an instant success. My thought when it comes to this, there's a person who opened up a bubble tea food truck. Just a food truck, and they make bubble tea and they parked it in a little thing. I wouldn't even think that the person who opened this spent over $100,000 on everything to be able to do all of that. I guess it just comes down to, is the franchise good? Is it going to help you? Do you want that help in order to be able to launch immediately? Or is it something that maybe you can start on your own? A lot of investigating when going into a franchise. Buying a small town inn. My husband and I were recently presented with an opportunity to buy a small town inn. The building itself is registered with the National Register of Historic Places. The current owners have put a good amount of work to restoring the building, but are leaving a handful of unfinished projects. The plus side is that it would definitely qualify for grants to finish some of the work. The hotel has 4 one-bedroom apartments already renovated that could be rented full-time, and 6 one-bedroom hotel rooms that are all turnkey. So I'm guessing those 6 haven't been recently renovated, but they're good enough to be able to rent out right now. There are still 5 unfinished rooms. 3 of the rooms include kitchens, as well as 3 common areas on the first floor that are unfinished as well as the basement, which would likely gut and could be a venue or some other business venture. We were thinking for the main floor of the common space, one could be a market. They're just kind of going into what they could possibly do with the open spaces. The hotel lobby easily lends itself to a cute speakeasy vibe, cocktail bar. I have experience running an upscale bar. That's good. And the bar is already built, including a cooler and an ice machine. My question is, does anyone have any experience running an inn in a town that doesn't have a huge tourism market? What do you do to attract guests? I think my husband and I have some really fun ideas for the spaces to attract clientele. There's not much for rentable lodging, so I think that some marketing we could do pretty well, especially once we get the other hotel amenities up and running. Am I being too optimistic about the idea, or is this really a great opportunity? So my first question is, with what you have turnkey, can you make it? Like, do you make enough money at, like, say 70% fill rate to be able to comfortably run this business? Because you can work on all of those other areas, but if it's going to take a while, and it's going to take a while because it's a historic building, and those, you have to follow a lot more codes, a lot more laws in order to make sure that it's up to code. It's not going to damage any of the historical relevance. That's going to be important. Can you, from the moment that you get keys, get 70% fill rate potentially? Can you make it off of that? If not, then at least know what you're going into and know that you may have to put a loan down to be able to run the business while you get all of these other spaces ready to go. But if you can do that, I'd say go for it. Getting a business, it's fun. I want to start a small lawn care business, but need tips. Long story short, my wife's family used to do lawn care for a long time. I can get a couple of yard works with their property management company. I currently have no equipment, but what I am looking to do is buying a push mower and a trimmer. How do you all do your pricing? My guess was doing weekly or bi-weekly contracts, but not requiring any cancellation fee. If they choose to cancel, I want them to have peace of mind. I was going to do $60 for the first mow, $70 to $100 depending on yard size. 1 acre equals $100. Is this a good model, or should I price different? I live in South Carolina. Any tips on marketing besides Facebook and not having an LLC yet for Google? So first off, I would say you may need, if you're going to do an acre, you're not going to want to do that with a push mower. You're going to want at least something that will help you get the larger lawns done quickly. And that's going to be a riding lawnmower, something with like a 0 turn angle, something that can get into areas and then you can just turn really quick, get out. You're going to want that because you don't want to spend all day, and you will spend all day push mowing an acre, and you don't want to spend a whole day to make $100. Second of all, when it comes to pricing, don't just come up with numbers. Find out what your competition is doing. Call them up or have a couple of your friends call up the competition. Get a couple of estimates on what it would cost for varying sizes. Hey, I've got a 1 acre lawn. What's your estimate? Those kinds of things. That's going to be the best way to get your pricing, and then adjust accordingly. go in a little bit cheaper or a lot cheaper, maybe by $10 or $15 to be able to attract customers. When it comes to getting your LLC, go with a company to help you out with it. I used CorpNet, and it was a beautiful process. I spent a little bit of money to be able to get the premium, and it came with this nice book. It came with this nice book, and I went to the bank with this, and they were kind of impressed. So definitely go with get your LLC set up, and then for marketing, set up a Google My Business, set up on Facebook, set up anywhere that people are going to be looking, and then promote your business in the local, like what's up in my town, your marketplace, those kinds of things, to be able to get the word out, in a way that's actually kind of free. But congratulations. I wish you all the best of luck. And that's all I have for you today. If you liked this, give it a like. And if you're coming across this naturally, give me a subscribe. And if you thought any of the things that I said about these Reddit stories or the news, you thought differently, well, put it in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Anyways, you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you next week.